So at this point, I'm done with both the empty slot and the knob. Next, I have to make a active slot, which is the slot that looks like it has, it's been filled in with a color. And we'll probably use a green as well. So to organize things, I'm going to group all of my knob layers into a group. Call it knob. Then I'm going to duplicate my empty slot. Change the name to slot full. And so I can see what I'm doing, I'm going to move it down, and I hold shift and use the down arrow to move in 10 pixel increments. That way it's easy to get it right back where it was. So I'm just going to move it down here, go to the layer styles, and I'm just going to change the color overlay to that green-ish right around there that we've been using. Maybe a little more towards yellow. There we go. It looks about the same as the LED. I'm going to leave the inner shadow on, but I'm going to crank it way down. I want it to be there somewhat, but not very much. I can get rid of my little drop shadow highlight because it's not really, you can't see it anymore anyway. And then I'm going to add a subtle outer glow to this in that same greenish hue. Probably bring it down to 4. Set the blend mode to pin light again. And crank it all the way down to 0. And then just start cranking it up just until you start to notice it. And then turn it on and off to see what you're getting there. To me, it just adds just enough glow to show that it's illuminated. And that's really all I want for my active slot. So I'm done there. And now I'm going to move it back up into place by holding shift. Okay, and now the last thing I'm going to do, now if you're using this, for programming or for control system software or touchscreen development or whatever, you're likely going to need 3 separate pieces. You're going to need the inactive slot, the filled active slot, and the knob. And sometimes the knob is going to have an inactive and an active state as well. So you would export all those pieces separately and then reassemble them in the software that you're using. But for the demo here, I'm just going to show you an easy way to mask off parts of the 2 slots so that you can show this half filled up, this half empty. So I'm going to take my full slot and I want to mask off. I don't want to see what's up here. So I'm going to grab my marquee tool and just draw a box up to about midway through the knob there and hit my mask tool. And then that's masked off this half and it shows this half. Now I could probably just leave it like this, but just to be a perfectionist, I'm going to mask off the bottom half of the empty slot. And an easy way to do that is to hold Control and click on your mask for the full slot so you get that selection back. Now go down to your empty, and if you hold Alt while you click on the mask button, it does an inverted mask. So now you can see if I hide this, it's blocked off the bottom half of the empty slot. So there's that, and oh, I almost forgot. We're going to do a shadow underneath the knob. That is really easy to do. So I'm going to go to the knob base layer, and I'm going to duplicate that and move it behind the knob base so it's the bottom layer. Just call it shadow. going to clear its layer styles for now. And now I'm going to use my direct selection tool for the path. I need to see the path. I'm going to grab this bottom handle, and then with the arrow, I'm just going to move it down a little bit. And you may want to pull these out a little. About like that. Let's hide that again. And now I'm going to go up here to properties for that vector path, and I'm going to feather the edge of it by 1 pixel so it looks a little bit blurred. Now I'm going to add a mask to it. So I make my blank mask, go over to my gradient tool. The black to white is fine. I got to get rid of this reflected, go back to normal, and get rid of reversed as well. And then I might do this backwards, so you'll have to bear with me. Believe I'm going to start down here, click, hold shift, drag up to about the midpoint, and let go. And there you go. So that masked off the bottom part of that shadow, so you get a nice sort of shadow here. Now this is sort of, add to taste. You can mess with this as much as you want to try and get it the way you want it, but to me that looks pretty good. And it also gives us a little bit of a haze out here that helps bring out the top of that button. So there it is, my completed horizontal dark theme slider. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial.